To be honest with you, we weren't expecting much to hit Helldivers today. I mean, after all, part of the team is over in China. It's a random Thursday, and they've been conducting their mysterious back-end maintenances all week long, which seems like the perfect time for Arrowhead to strike with not one, but two pieces of breaking news.
For the Emperor!
So sit tight as I break it all down for you. We've got breaking news coming to us from Arrowhead concerning a long-requested feature they're going to be implementing into Helldivers 2. And we've been seeing the studio respond to this community question ever since the game released way back in 2024. For instance, here's Johan, the game's former CEO, now CCO, responding on Twitter way back then saying, "Okay, I'll bite. DLSS, cool tech, but not necessary. If I have code time over, I prefer to put that to good use, focusing on the core gameplay, as it's what is most important for a game to be successful. This way of thinking seems to have paid off." Arrowhead CEO Shams Georgiani was also previously quoted saying, "There are other, more fundamental problems that impact performance that we will focus on before DLSS FSR, but it's being discussed." And you just got the clue right there. It seems that the recent work we've been seeing from outsourced independent studio Nixies is going to be coming to the game on May 27th in the form of, here's the breaking news, upscaling support, which will be implemented on all platforms, by the way, which I know is always a topic in my video comment sections because many times PC gets to have all the fun, they get the mods or something like that, while console is left out. So, now sourcing from the official Steam post announcement, and by the way, I'll include links to all of today's sources down in the video description and pinned comments so you can check them out for yourselves. Here's what they had to say. To ensure maximum visual clarity without sacrificing performance, we have integrated the latest upscaling solutions tailored to your specific hardware. All right, so they've got two different solutions here for PC. FSR high-end, which is 4.0.3 on supported GPUs, but also for PC, you can get your hands on FSR 3.1.5, NVIDIA DLSS 4.5, and XeSS 3.0 will all be supported. Consoles are not left out either. PS5 Pro, you're going to get PSSR 1. Standard PS5 gets FSR 3.1, and Xbox gets FSR 3.1. So for a quick recap here, for PC, you're going to get your choice of FSR, or Fidelity FX Super Resolution. This is the high-end version, 4.0.3, if you've got the card that can handle it, or you can just use the lighter version of FSR. NVIDIA users, you're going to get DLSS, or Deep Learning Super Sampling, 4.5, while Intel will get XeSS 3.0. By the way, I've got a lot of thoughts on this that I'll get to in just a moment, but for now, as I mentioned earlier, consoles will also get in on the action here, with PS5 Pro getting PSSR, or PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. Normal PS5 owners will use FSR 3.1, and the same goes for Xbox, which according to this post they published on May 21st. This will all be arriving into Helldivers 2 in 6 days' time. So that's next Tuesday, May 27th, which makes sense. That's the normal day of the week Arrowhead likes to push out their patches. A little foreshadowing there, so stay tuned for a little splash they have on that in just a moment. Continuing on with this post, it next dives into visual optimization. As they say, beyond resolution, we are introducing several features to smooth out your gameplay experience and optimize GPU workload. First up is VRR, or Variable Refresh Rate, now supported for PS5 and PS5 Pro to reduce any potential stuttering from VSync without screen tearing on supported displays. That's good news. Variable Rate Shading, better known as VRS. This technology intelligently reduces shading rates in certain areas of the image, decreasing GPU load while maintaining visual quality where it matters. And they've also got DRS, or Dynamic Resolution Scaling, integrated for both PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC to maintain stable frame rates during more graphically demanding scenarios. Increasing resolution to 1440p, and the performance preset on PS5 and Xbox Series X, as well as the quality preset on PS5 power saving mode. They then go on to finish up this post with the following: responsiveness is critical during tense battles, and we worked with hardware partners to reduce input latency. That tends to be a big issue with online games. NVIDIA users, you're going to get NVIDIA Reflex, now available for users with NVIDIA GPUs to help sharpen responsiveness. Also, AMD Anti-Lag 2 will be implemented, fully supported for AMD GPU users to ensure your inputs are registered instantly. Now here's their little tease here. They say this update, along with additional fixes, God, I hope it's a massive patch drop as well, will drop on May 27th, 2026. And then they finally say, but we're not stopping there, Helldivers. This is just the opening salvo in an ongoing campaign to improve performance across the fleet. Following this release, we'll be closely monitoring all platforms and hardware configurations, keeping a sharp eye out for anything that needs tuning and deploying further adjustments as required. We're also preparing a dedicated tech-focused update later this summer to push these improvements even further. Today's news comes at a time when Helldivers 2 is kind of floating adrift, if you get my idea. We've got part of the team in China, still no patch aimed at handling the durable damage changes, and you know, we've just been sent down to take on the game's least favorite faction, the Illuminate. But I did want to throw this in. I know a lot of players out there have been requesting the implementation of upscaling support, and to be completely honest with you, you know I like to be honest, this was a huge shock because I never thought the studio would ever get around to even entertaining the notion of adding this into the game. And once I saw the news this morning, I instantly assembled the regular Helldivers squaddies, and we dove in to mess around and kind of talk over the changes amongst ourselves. And full disclosure, we all play on PC. So, you know, for someone like me that plays on a more high-end rig, DLSS and or frame gen is probably something I'm not going to use once it comes out. Now, I often see questions from viewers asking what resolution I record and play in on my videos, which, by the way, is 4K on full ultra settings. But I also record at a max bitrate with my software, and I also have my display set to native resolution. And here's the point I'm sort of meandering up to. For players that have medium to higher end graphics cards, FSR or DLSS looks to be set up to do very little for you. Mainly because the game is not really GPU restricted. You see, when you go into the game display settings and start messing with the render scale while having the performance monitor set to advanced, which by the way is all in the game, so you can do this all for yourself, you're going to see that the frame times in FPS stay almost the same all the way from the worst render scale all the way up to native. It's only once you set the render scale to either super sampling or ultra super sampling do things change dramatically in game, where you're going to see your FPS tank and your frame times spike. So in general, and I may be a little off of my explanation here, so forgive me, but DLSS will not be providing players with a big FPS boost because of the inherent built-in CPU restrictions. Now, where I think this upscaling is going to have the greatest effect is going to be for PC players with graphics cards that are, say, getting pretty old, along with the console players. I'm now going to show you a clip I recorded just this morning, so this footage is super fresh. And for the record, this is after the recent back-end maintenance windows and WY's sound engine fixes. What I've done here is I've activated my recording software's FPS counter in the top right hand of the screen. I know it's going to be kind of small for you, especially if you're on mobile. So you can kind of watch what happens with Helldivers 2 when you tend to get too many rapid fire explosions going off on screen. Also, pay attention when I start slamming away with the GL belt fed. Watch and listen to the difference in muzzle flashes versus rounds leaving the weapon. Now, to be clear here, I'm not dunking on HD2. That clip is the reality. That's what we, the players, really see when we dive onto a planet. That's a crazy frame drop, and I know that many of you see this as well while playing your games. Also, the sound dropping in and out, along with all the engine calculations going on in the background with the effects, the lighting, the particles, again, the sound, it basically just overwhelms the game's engine. And this is where I want to loop back in with DLSS, because there's DLSS, there's FSR, and so on, and then there's optimization. And to be clear, DLSS, FSR, variable rate shading, and NVIDIA Reflex is not going to fix what you just saw in that clip. That's down to optimization. Go figure, just as I was getting this video ready to go up onto YouTube, surprise! Arrowhead and Sony just hit us with some late breaking news I'm pretty sure is going to get many of you hyped up beyond belief.
Hello everyone, I am Mikael Eriksson, Game Director of Helldivers 2. Today I am very excited to announce a collaboration between Helldivers 2 and Warhammer 40,000 for an upcoming Legendary Warbond. For those of you who haven't enlisted yet, Helldivers 2 is a high-octane 4-player co-op shooter where you fight as a Helldiver for democracy and the glory of Super Earth. Your mission? To liberate the galaxy from evil, oppressive aliens threatening our way of life. At Arrowhead, we believe these two worlds fit perfectly together. And as a studio full of die-hard Warhammer fans, we are beyond thrilled to see this Legendary Warbond come to life. We look forward to revealing more later this year. And until then, we'll see you all on the battlefield.
Yeah, so there you go. Warhammer 40K and Helldivers 2 are hitting us with a collab coming later this summer to bring us, what now, our third Legendary Warbond? Let's see, first it was Killzone, then Halo ODST, and now Warhammer. And at this point, as you saw in the trailer, all we got to see was base Helldivers footage and Arrowhead devs either painting or talking. And I really think there was a missed opportunity for them to at least show us an HD2 concept art cameo, you know, a diver in Warhammer armor right at the end there. I mean, am I right? Now, I've used Nexus mods before to visually look like a Space Marine, but to speculate on what could or should be in a 40K Warbond, man, that's something I don't want to take a stab at right now. Also, I've already started seeing your comments and receiving your DMs saying that if Arrowhead just rolled out 40K as a collab, things must have gotten really bad over at the studio after Exo Experts and all those negative reviews they received. Anyways, drop me a comment with your feedback about the upcoming Upscaler announcement, along with this late breaking news with Warhammer 40K coming to Helldivers 2 this summer. I mean, are you excited? Or are you meh? Or does this have disaster written all over it? Whatever it is, whatever you're feeling, leave a comment. Let's get a healthy discussion going. If you haven't done so already, please consider hitting subscribe and ringing the notifications bell to receive my future upload alerts. If you're on mobile, you can really help promote this channel and video by taking advantage of the swipe to hype function. And of course, before I go, I'd love to throw out a massive and heartfelt shout out to all of our hardcore channel members. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.